that, let's go ahead and talk about sibling sabotage. What to do when the siblings in the family are sabotaging any effort that your hesitant eater is making when trying a new food. So they get ready to taste, and big brother says something corny or something annoying or slugs his baby brother playfully to stop the process. Or the older sister says, oh, you won't like that. You guys have a few of these that you know of? I know I do. Or how about when one of the siblings says, oh, he's a picky eater, right in front of the kid. That's what I'm talking about when we're talking about sabotage. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to establish some family rules. And there are basically 3 that I want you to start with. You can add to these later, but I don't want to overwhelm the kids with too many rules at first. What I want you to do is create a board in your kitchen. It can be a blackboard, it can be a poster board, it can be whatever you want. But I wanted to start with in our family. In our family, and then we're going to list the 3 rules. In our family, we don't yuck somebody else's yum. And what we mean by that is, don't be rude to the food. You know, I might be enjoying these blueberries right now, and if you say something mean about the blueberries, something negative about the blueberries, that kind of ruins my experience with a food that I really like. So that's kind of rude, and we don't do that to each other in our family. So we don't yuck somebody else's yum. If you don't have anything nice to say about the food, don't say anything at all. The second rule in our family is we always take a bit of everything. Notice how I didn't say a bite of everything, right? I'm not talking about a bite. I'm just saying that we always put a little bit of everything on our plate. The third rule is we all stay at the table until everyone's done eating. Not because it's about eating, but because dinner time, lunchtime, whatever it is around the family table, it's about family. And that's what we're trying to teach our kids, that this is really a precious time for all of us to reconnect, especially during our busy lives. So once you've established this rule, or these rules, I want you to take a minute and sit down with your kids on the living room couch and say, hey, listen, these are the rules in our family. And you know what? Poor behavior at the family mealtime table, that has consequences. Now, they're never, ever in trouble for not eating. That's not what this is about. But what they are going to have some consequences for is if they break any one of the 3 rules. We don't yuck somebody else's yum, we take a little bit of everything, and we all stay at the table until we're done eating. The consequences are because you didn't follow the family rules. It's no different than if you have a family rule of we all make our bed in the morning, or we always put our seatbelt on. I hope you have that rule. In other words, we have rules in our family, and there are consequences if you don't follow through. Okay, let's talk about some strategies to help the kids get there. Well, ask yourself, take a look at the big picture. What's happening right before the behavior and right after? And what can we do to structure up meal times to set our kids up for success? One of the biggest issues that I run into is often the child, the sibling, who is annoying the hesitant eater or somehow influencing the hesitant eater is sitting either right next to that little one or they're sitting across from them. So ask yourself, would it be better with my kids if they weren't sitting across from each other, eye to eye? Would it be better if they weren't sitting next to each other, elbow to elbow? Maybe what we can do is have one sitting at one end of the table and the other one at the other end, almost diagonally. Maybe we can put an adult in between. Maybe we can put a more cooperative sibling in between. Maybe we can just put a big platter of food in between them. But I would have some sort of barrier, for lack of a better word, that makes sure that they can't touch each other and they can't glare at each other. And honestly, that's why sometimes side by side, if there's a little bit of space there and a barrier like a platter of food can really make a difference. The other thing I want you to think about is when kids get in the habit of annoying each other this way, it becomes a conditioned response. So they come to the table ready to make this happen. And instead of setting that up, what we want to do is we want to reshape that behavior and the way we think about our family table. So have positive distractions to keep everybody's mind on the fun. That's the main thing. So it might be that you have a box of dinner time questions. You know, we've all seen those before. I've got them on my table. And they're just fun little questions that everybody can pull out and take turn answering. Maybe you have some questions already set up in your head, like, okay, we're going to go around the table and we're going to talk about one good thing that happened to us today. Now, if your kids have trouble taking turns, you might consider something like a talking stick, or gosh, you could even use a wooden spoon, and the kids get to pass the wooden spoon and take their turn talking about either the answer to the dinner time question or what happened that was so good today. Then when they pass the spoon to somebody else, it's that person's turn. And what you're creating there is not only some good turn taking, but also some family cooperation. And that's the beginning of better family meal times. Just remember the rules, that if you're holding the spoon, you get to talk. If you're not holding the spoon, you're not talking. You might be responding, but you're not holding the microphone, is the whole point. So you know what you're doing instead? You're probably eating. So it's a great opportunity if you're a hesitant eater to be listening to two or three other people at the table and having an opportunity to take some bites. So those are some of my solutions for sibling sabotage. I hope you found them helpful.